Wow, what an intro, huh? Gotta love that. Hey everybody, my name is Anthony Sequeira here with StormWind's Epic Live, and I am absolutely thrilled that you are joining us for this ICND1 class. That's right, Interconnecting Cisco Network Devices, Part 1. And as we're going to see momentarily, this is the particular class that's going to give us our CCENT certification, your first step when it comes to your Cisco certification career. In this quick course introduction, we're going to talk to you all about the great stuff that you're going to learn in this course. As you can see, one of the things that we're going to have you do here is be able to support your particular network environment. Now, I've got great news for you. If you're a little nervous about being here, have no fear. Our producer, Tom Warwick, he can meet the requirements for this course. He can basically use his computer, although that's questionable. He has Windows navigation, basic internet, and yeah, he sends me emails every day. So very light requirements. If you have like your CompTIA A+ certification, that would be really, really cool if you had that. But notice, not at all a requirement for this course. You might just have a little bit of a heads up. A Network Plus certification, even better, but again, don't worry. We have great mentoring services, so if you should have any questions at all about any of this material, we'll make sure we get those questions answered for you. Notice our overall course goal. We want to give you the skills that are going to be required in order to successfully implement, operate, and then go on and troubleshoot a Cisco network. So you're really going to be able to take a network from its infancy, get it all running beautifully, and then potentially troubleshoot it. You got to love it. Here, I went into a bit more details on your course goals. Notice you can see a page number, by the way, in our slides up in the top right. So for those of you that want to follow along with your official curriculum, have fun doing that. You don't have to, but if you want to, we're going to use those page numbers to help you out. I actually created this slide myself, though, okay? Because I wanted to give you a little bit more details about the brass tacks that we'll be covering in this course. Notice things like LAN switching. Critical. Things like wireless, TCP/IP, wide area network environments. All of these are skills that you absolutely have to have in order to succeed in networks today. I'll tell you what, now this slide is very important. Let me go ahead and get out of the way here so you can see this. This shows the official Cisco icons. You notice we really prettied them up, but they are the icons that we initially got from Cisco. We have to know, for example, that that big blue round object up here, that Cisco router, I call it the hockey puck. You really have to memorize what that looks like. A workgroup switch, an access, what is that? That's an access point. Thank you, a wireless access point, an IP phone. You need to be able to see those objects and recognize them immediately. One of the things I recommend you do is make flashcards for this particular course. Not only are you going to make flashcards, but I'll try and do a really good job of telling you exactly when to make a flashcard and what to put on it. Okay, so flashcards are really going to help you, and that's probably the first area that we're going to use our flashcards with, these particular icons. Draw them out, sketch them out, and be able to recognize them immediately. It is not past Cisco in this exam to literally show you one of those objects and say, what is it? So I would want you to be ready for that experience. Cisco's really pushing their wiki site. It's docwiki.cisco.com. It's okay. It's so-so. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest with you. What you're going to see me doing with you again and again in this course is taking you up to the main cisco.com website and taking you to support configure. We're going to be doing that a lot together so I can show you where you can get more excellent documentation on things that we hit in this particular course. Now, something that I do love is the Cisco Career Certification site. This is going to have lots of great information for you on Cisco certifications. Notice the URL. Cisco does this a lot. And that was rude of me to point at that gentleman's privates. I'll try not to do that again in the presentation. But notice the URL. It's cisco.com/go certifications. Cisco uses this go syntax in their URLs, and it makes it real easy. Cisco.com go switches, Cisco.com go routers, Cisco.com go FN for feature navigator. It really makes it quite easy to find great resources on their particular website. Folks, when it comes to certifications, remember, this is ICND1. This is our entry-level certification. There is an exam that goes with this course that gives us that entry level. Now, if you want to join me, and I hope you will, for ICND Part 2, we'll start to climb that pyramid. The ICND2 class, and you pass the exam that goes with that, gets you that associate level certification. I am at the expert level, and a lot of people say, Anthony, you ever going to go for the architect? Well, yeah, when I have the extra 15,000 laying around and the 2-3 years that it would take to study for it, sure, I think I might consider the Cisco architect. But what we're going to do here at StormWind Live is we're going to walk you through all the way to expert if you like. So stick with us. We're going to give you all the expertise and all the materials that you would need to do that. By the way, you're probably wondering, what is like the course administration stuff? How's that going to go for this particular course? Look, this is how easy this class is. We break it down into 8 sessions. So we're going to do two 2-hour sessions, 2-2-hour sessions, 4 days a week, okay, Monday through Friday. We're going to go 11 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to go 3 to 5 Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to do that 4 days a week. Very simple. Exactly 60 minutes in, I'm going to go ahead and give you a 10-minute break. So at the exact halfway point, I'll give you a 10-minute break, and that's how the simple format of the class will run. I'm sure you can appreciate the fact that you're going to be able to potentially get a lot of stuff done in between our class sessions. One last slide I want to show you in this overview section here. It's a really, really awesome place to hang out, to meet other people that are studying CCENT, to post questions in the forums. You'll see me in here a lot, and it's the Cisco Learning Network. It's got a tough URL. Just type in Google Cisco Learning Network, and it'll be the very first link that you have. Well, let's jump right in, folks. Our first module of this course is called Building a Simple Network. And as you can see here, our first lesson is going to be all about the functions of networking. And we start with the basic question of what in the world is a network? Well, a network these days, it's going to consist of like a main office. And at the main office, we're going to have very sophisticated Cisco and maybe some non-Cisco, heaven forbid, networking equipment. We are going to touch on supporting some of the equipment at the main office, but our main focus would be on stuff we would find at like a smaller branch office, or maybe even stuff we would find in the home office. This is really where we're going to have our bread and butter in this particular course. By the way, more and more, we're finding mobile users. Now, this mobile user is on a real budget. Notice the only thing he has is a chair and what appears to be an Apple notebook computer. So, I mean, that's going mobile, folks. He's sitting on a chair in just an empty white room. It's amazing. All right, so in all seriousness, you can see that a network these days is going to consist of potentially a lot of different geographical areas. What are some common physical components of a network? Well, obviously, all kinds of PCs, right? We can have PCs from Apple. We can have PCs from Dell, from HP. And all of these PCs are going to be able to openly communicate with each other in the network thanks to a little miracle called TCP/IP. And we'll be focusing in this course a lot on the TCP/IP suite of protocols. Notice there's going to be some kind of connectivity between these devices. When we have red lines in this course, it means cabling. That's right, physical cabling. But as we'll teach you in this course, it doesn't have to be physical cabling anymore, folks. We can literally have the TCP/IP signals travel through the air in radio waves. That's right. Great song by Roger Waters of the former Pink Floyd, Radio Waves. That's right. We can literally have the computer communications transmitted over the air. You gotta love that. Something else that we're going to be mastering in this course is switches that PCs are going to plug into for high-speed connectivity, and we're also going to use routers in order to route between our different networks. We'll see that in this course as well. By the way, you notice in that last slide we had those official Cisco icons. I thought you might appreciate it if we jumped up to Cisco.com and we took a look at what these devices really look like. And you can do this on your own, of course. We go to products and services. We go to like switches, for example. And then you can come down here and notice we have the switches category, and we can scroll down and notice there's all different categories of switches that are available here, like access layer switches. You can click on show the products. Here's like the 4500E series. And then sure enough, look at this. We can get really, really great pictures of exactly, keep taking you to the wrong place there, sorry about that, of exactly what these particular switches look like. Look at this. Oh, and they're heavy. Yeah, I can't pick that up. But isn't that cool? So if you want to see what these things really look like, okay, Cisco is going to do a great job up at Cisco.com of showing you what these particular objects look like. All right, well, let's go ahead right now and talk about something that is very important. You may consider this a little drab, but it is so incredibly important that you master interpreting network diagrams, folks. Network diagrams are going to be key, and they're going to always consist of certain ingredients. There's lots of different styles of them, and certainly yours aren't going to look as pretty as ours because we hire graphics designers, and they've done a great job with this course, as you can see. So yours won't look as pretty, but it'll typically have things labeled like a switch. It'll typically have key things labeled by function, like a TFTP server. And our network diagrams will also label interfaces. That is hugely important. Something else to consider is IP addressing. We want to get those labels on these particular devices. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, Anthony, okay, so your graphic designers created these incredible graphics, but I don't have those kind of skills, and I want to create network diagrams that will really kick butt. What's the best tool to use? Well, there's lots of different tools that you can use. One thing I wanted to emphasize to you here is the most common. The most common tool that's used to create these diagrams is called Visio, and it's from Microsoft. I gotta let you in on a little secret. I don't use Visio to create diagrams. I really don't. But I always have Visio installed on all my machines because everybody else likes to use Visio. I actually use PowerPoint because I use our graphics that our graphics designers give me. And also, I don't have to create really complex network diagrams anymore. But if you have to create complex ones, you're going to be here in Visio. And you can see they have templates.